Is this thing on? Testing. Sally sells seashells down by the seashore.
Hey, dummy, we're live.
We're live? Oh, of course we're live. Welcome, connoisseurs of delicate taste, to The God Machine, Volume 1, Revision Kickstarter.
Yup, the newly revised God Machine graphic novel you'll want to read and reread forever and ever.
It's the definitive version, the realness, Angel Kitty. I'm your host, Devil Kitty.
And I'm your host, too. I'm Angel Kitty. Hi. Check me out.
Let's start with the obvious newbie question. What is The God Machine? I'm glad you asked. It begins, as all the best stories do, at the beginning of...
It's a torrid tale of an angsty teen. Our hero, Thy Salvatore.
Yes. Not only does he have the whole being a teenager thing going against him, but the dude's girlfriend died, and he's seeing monsters, too. And don't even get me started on his parents.
He's going a little crazy. Tell them about Stan. Okay, this guy Stan tells Guy that his girlfriend is still alive, floating in and out of the dream worlds.
Angel Kitty, that would be Satan, not Stan. You might be thinking of our accountant.
Satan? Oh, Guy, don't listen to him. He's a bad egg. What if it's a trick? What if he's lying? What if it's not even real? What if it's all in Guy's head? What if it's a manifestation of his deep-rooted anguish and coping mechanism that us always use for this and you can cut me off?
Oh, must you always get so emotionally involved? No matter. This is a job for our familiars, the gods. Good God and evil God. Beings that sort of govern all existence.
Emphasis on sorta.
Throw the gods into this mess, some goth kids, a lot of monsters, the ever-encroaching darkness, and the mystery as to what really happened to that dead girlfriend, and you've got the first volume of The God Machine.
Wow, but wait, didn't this book come out already back in 2010?
Indubitably so, my dear, but not only is that version out of print, this one is chock full of new stuff. Allow me to elaborate. This new edition of Volume 1 has a revised text, meaning the author rewrote nearly all the book to not only tell a better story, but update the language for a new audience and fix some issues with the first book. We've got new comic pages, new and extended scenes, and more new art packed into 180 pages of sturdy hardcover masterpiece. But wait, there's more. It's been re-lettered from start to finish by the talented Taylor Esposito, and there's a brand new God Machine logo by Phil Balsman. We've got a surprise new foreword, along with the original foreword by Venture Brothers' own Doc Hammer. What a show that one is. What a show.
So, even if I read it before, it would be a totally new experience?
Indeed, like ketchup and peanut butter on pasta, but better.
Wait, you said author earlier. A person made this?
Oh yeah, a Chandra-free person made this.
You guys take a breather. I got this. Hey all, it's me, Chandra Free, but you can call me Chan. You might know me from awesome places such as the internet, conventions, or from books like Fraggle Rock, John Carpenter's Tales for a Halloween Night, Mice Templar, The Graphic Canon, and my own company, Machina Corpse's First Offerings. I'm the sole creator of The God Machine, a story I've been working on since my senior year of high school back in 1999. Even though I've had plenty of roadblocks over the years since launching the series with Archaea, from starts and stops with other publishers to just making a living and all the obstacles that entails, I've never given up on my heart project, The God Machine. That's why I'm so happy to present the relaunch and continuation of the series with the revised edition of Volume 1, now published by Machina Corps. This is my pure vision of the series. I'm in control of every aspect from story to visuals to the book's production. This paves the way for the future. I have Volume 2 in production as we speak, and the script for Volume 3 nearly completed. I'm ready to devote all of my time to my epic, The God Machine, but this can't happen without your help.
Let me take over here, Chan. This is kind of my specialty. Listen, you know it, I know it, you want this book. Hardcover, fully painted, thing's a friggin' beaut. The God Machine series will be plunging forward. Volume 1, Volume 2, 3, and 4. We're talking the future of gorgeous, painterly, utterly hilarious teenage angst. Pins, posters, prints, bookmarks, original comic pages, original art. This is a deal, a steal, a real steal deal. Did I mention stretch goals? Because we have a pretty enormous stretch goal in mind to be revealed. A little tease there, cliffhanger if you will.
Pledge today, spread the word, tell the internet, mention us on social media.
Yeah, and text all your friends and family too. One of those big chain texts with everyone on it. People love that stuff.
No, People don't love that devil kitty. We need your support for the printing of the book. The goodies, shipping, taxes, fees, all that fun stuff.
Since when are taxes fun?
The God Machine Volume 1 Revision's future is in your hands.
Make it happen, friends. Meow.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Absentee Cat. No one knows the plight of a Kickstarter like me. Watching my parents to realize everything. Oh, it is so hard. I think it is called the God Machine, and you can go to the very Kickstarter page at the Kickstarter of thegodmachine.org. That is thegodmachine.org. So, in my pieces that I've done as kind of like samples are my love of fine art and painting and whatnot. These pieces inform the book itself because the book is kind of painterly and very like coming from my love of fine art and being a painter. So sometimes the pieces I do either inform stories that are going to happen or impressions of stories. Usually characters say good God and Guy are reflections of me in a lot of ways and my moods that I've gone through the years and how I wanted to project my emotional state into artwork. So me and the characters are very simpatico. Is that the word? Simpatico? Me and the characters are very in tune with each other. Something that is a product of my mid-2000s to late 2000s is that I did flourishes and abstractions and other little bits and pieces that show up in my artwork along with figurative work. Like I love abstract painting. It's kind of fun to marry the fine art with my digital art.
Hello, friends. It's the voice of MCTV, Nick Nocturne, with an urgent and potentially fatal warning for you. The undead are rising, returning to life. They're back, and they're hungry. I'm talking, of course, about the God Machine Kickstarter, running now until April 7th. A brand new printing of Chandra Free's epic tale of gods, monsters, and teenage angst. New scenes, new text, and tons of extras. Get all the info and secure your copy at thegodmachine.org. The undead return, but only if this campaign funds successfully, meaning time is of the essence. Thank you all for your attention, and do stay safe out there, okay?
Alright, you got 30 seconds. Sell your viewers on the God Machine Kickstarter and go.
Okay, let me tell you about this book. It's called The God Machine, and it's got beautiful visuals. It's about this gothy, angsty kid named Guy Salvador who recently lost his girlfriend to, like, who knows what. Then he finds out, whoa, she's still alive. She's floating in and out of the dream worlds, and only he can save her. And there's gods, there's monsters, there's all sorts of things. You're going to love it. Go to godmachine.org to find out more and pledge to the Kickstarter campaign.
Ooh, you did it with 4 seconds left.
My Do Not Disturb is on. The newly revised God Machine graphic novel you'll want to read and reread forever and ever. A relaunch of the series. Now I'm just playing around. And I'm your host too. I'm Angel Kitty. Hi. Hi. He's going a little crazy. So sorry I got that wrong. We're gonna fix it. I'm gonna be better people for it. Okay. The God Machine Volume 1 Revision's future is in your hands.
So some artistic motifs I go through are like moons and magical colors like purples and reds and whatnot, things that are very striking, you know, gravestones and whatnot. It's all kind of like part of this, I don't want to say goth because I keep on saying goth a lot, but it's kind of this goth aesthetic, but it's also a magical aesthetic because they always say purple means otherworldly in terms of color theory, and red means passion and whatnot. And like, you've got these striking colors, and also red means in between worlds. Like, so good God has red hair. She's in between worlds. She's a god of all things. And of course, like moons, I've always loved moons so much, and just the brightness and the dark. My name also means moon-like, so I'm very partial to moons. And you know, just asymmetrical designs, not always being like precision in how I do my symmetry in my characters or anything else in the world.
Good morning, or night, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Welcome to MCTV. I'm your humble nocturnal guide of everything after, Nick Nocturne, and I hope you enjoy the Community First Church of the Chupacabra's annual bloodletting fundraiser. It's one of my favorites. But even better, and up next, is Machina Corpse's The God Machine Kickstarter, running now until April 7th. Fully painted by Chandra Free, it's the first volume of an epic graphic novel series, full of teenage angst, whirling gods, and the monsters we all face growing up. But they're real. Find out more and get your copy and all the extras at thegodmachine.org. Act now.
Alright, Chan, we got another question for you. How did you come up with the God Machine?
Okay, one day I was trying to design a character because I was so like looking for a new thing to do, and then boom, there was Guy Salvador, and I'm like, I know my character. Then I started coming up with other characters that was part of his world, and just coming up with more characters, and it's like, okay, now we've got a girlfriend and whatnot. It's not that interesting. So what we want is to like create a story. So she's dead. And so I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm going through college. I'm coming up with all sorts of different ideas. I'm forming the God Machine. And then when I turn like about 27, I get a contract to make the God Machine Volume 1. And it comes out a little bit later in 2010. It's the first part of the series, and I'm still going to be working more on it. But that, in a nutshell, is how the God Machine came to be.
And that's just part 1.
That's just part 1. So Halloween, or goth culture, or things that go bump in the night, spookiness, definitely inform Guy's world. And of course, like that Halloween aesthetic of like graveyards and things like that. And of course, like goth culture. Goth culture is definitely a big one. I can't get away from it. It's just kind of a celebration of it. All things fishnet and black. And fun, funky hairs and stuff like that. So, comedy in the God Machine. You'd think that, you know, a story about a character losing his girlfriend to death, and there's like lots of depression and things like that, wouldn't be comedic. However, I find that if you just go in totally dark, there's no joy to be found. And without light, how can you appreciate the dark? Without dark, how can you appreciate the light? And I find that my characters have a humor about them, whether it's sarcastic or crazy like Evil God. There's something there. And of course, there's also going to be sidekick characters that kind of like are snarky and be like kind of silly, you know? Like silliness, like I don't shy away from it because I'm kind of that person. I'm that bitch. I'm silly.
3 days remain. Remember Majora's Mask? Poor Link had only 3 days to save Termina from complete obliteration by a quickly descending skull-faced moon. Those vacant red moon eyes will haunt me forever. This is just like that, only it's a metaphor. What I'm actually talking about, of course, is the God Machine Kickstarter. There's only 3 days left, friends, and every penny raised goes towards the production and bonuses for this book. Gods, monsters, angst, humor, and just look at that artwork. Such fine crafting. Link could rewind time with his trusty ocarina, but Machina Corpse unfortunately has no such luck. Go to thegodmachine.org for more info and to secure your goodies now.
All right, 30 seconds with Steve Emond. Why should we go to the God Machine Kickstarter campaign?
Okay. You should go to the God Machine Kickstarter because this book is absolutely beautiful. I think people really slept on it back in 2010 when it first came out. I think Chandra's an amazing artist. This thing she spent a ton of time on. It's fully painted. It's unlike anything else I've ever seen. It's just full of beautiful colors, beautiful imagery, just moons, gothy, spookiness, horror, monsters. It's everything cool. And go, and that's 30 seconds.
So one of the things I love to do is play dress up with my characters. Specifically, my female characters get to have a little bit more fun, even though I'm going to incorporate a little bit more into the guy characters. One of my favorite things is looking at styles or creating styles on my mind that are kind of Victorian or goth inspired or dark inspired, and also fashion. I've been looking at fashion a little bit more in my older age, and I'm thinking about asymmetricals, and I'll always add stripes. You can't take that away from me. And of course, a good corset. You can't go wrong. So sex is something that I want to explore, from sexuality to orientation. The God Machine and my artwork explore themes of sex, from subtle to the provocative to the erotic. 17-year-olds having sex. We don't talk about that necessarily in a lot of popular culture. I explored that through God Machine because it's true to who I was and true to a lot of other teenagers. I'm just totally fascinated by that human condition that either drives us or doesn't drive us. Sex. I find it fascinating, this whole human... Oh my God, okay, so...
Up next on MCTV Local 13, Machina Corps brings us sketchbook dissections. It's always nice to look back when the demons and monsters were only infants.
Sketchbook dissections. Sketchbook dissections. Wonderful.
In case you haven't heard, we're running a Kickstarter for my book, The God Machine, which runs until April 7th. And I'll have more on that in just a moment. Welcome to a very special edition of Sketchbook Dissections with me, Chandra Free. Today we're going to be talking about this. Not the book itself, but the cover. I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do for this cover. One of the things I absolutely know is that I wanted to have a consistent theme of both good God, the redhead right here, and Guy, this depressed fellow up here. I wanted them to be intertangled and together in some kind of way, so I wanted to convey that through something. And this took a lot to just finally get to this final place. All the special effects, all the different things that are going on here, like I wanted everything to pop. And of course it took me forever from this moon. The moon never quite made it, until the very end. It was this dingy orange, and then it got lighter, and then it was too much, and then brought back, blah, blah, blah. There's all these little intricate details that I did digitally on top of my penciled artwork, and also underneath it, just giving it that sort of Chan flourish. Now, if you notice, this is not the logo that you've been seeing recently. This is the old logo from me and my now ex-husband, Jim Enziello. I pretty much wanted something professional looking. Not to say that this isn't charming in its own right. I mean, it's a great first time out kind of thing, but I wanted something with more pop and more branding. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, this holds a big place in my heart, and she's beautiful, isn't she? And voila, here we have the latest cover of the new God Machine Volume 1 revision. I'm playing with the same themes. I wanted Guy and Gigi to be kind of melding together, kind of like coming together and somehow connected. You notice her dress is going into him, and his pants and shirt are kind of going into her dress, like the two are intertwined. Now, I wanted that special magical look again, with all those little flourishes and dots and whatnot. I just wanted magic, magic, magic. That's all I wanted this thing to scream. And of course, like, her hair is going everywhere, and so is his. And I just wanted kind of a look of despair on his face, and hers is the one of, what is going on? It's probably taken me a nice chunk of time to really figure out this cover itself. It's gone through iterations over the years, but the really cool brand new thing is the logo. The God Machine Volume 1 Revision logo. Now this logo is designed by Phil Balsman, and he wanted to take my ideas of that kind of religious kind of idea and the machine thing and put them together. So we have kind of like this goth kind of thing going on. But in the God word, we have a nice little grommet in there, really honing in on that machine kind of thing. And I think Phil just did a bang up job. But yeah, this is probably one of my most favorite pieces at the moment. Oh, hello. You probably didn't see me here because camouflage. In case you haven't heard, we're running a Kickstarter for the God Machine. It runs till April 7th, and please give us a check out at thegodmachine.org. It's a brand new edition of the book. It's called Revision because it's a new vision of it. The text is revised and reformatted for this time and age, so any problematic language is all in the past. And also we feature new letters by Taylor Esposito. So it's gonna have revised text. That means get rid of the junk and just have better characterizations and just, you know, make for a better book. Why not? There's new and extended scenes, there's new comic pages, and it's chock full of art. So like, you're gonna be looking through this, art is going to be all over the place. And as you saw, there's going to be a new cover. There's also a new back cover. And also an author intro by the author. But seriously, if you've read this before, you're going to love this new edition even more so. It's a treat for fans. And if you haven't read, this is a great jumping in point for anybody who wants to get into this series. Because after this, we're going to the second book, and in the third book, and the fourth book, and the fifth book, and the sixth book, you can get the actual physical copy, bookmarks, pens, you know, enamel pens, good stuff, prints, posters, original art, paintings. If you got the money, splurge a little bit. Get something very special and different from me. And of course, like I said, original art, as in original pages from the comic, and even stuff that wasn't printed. Now the campaign goes on till April 7th, so you've got a little bit of time, but not all that much. This is an all or nothing campaign, meaning if we don't make our goal, we get nothing, absolutely nothing. So we could be $1 off. We won't let that happen, but you know. With your support, from pledging to getting the word out, to summoning the demons from beyond, all that stuff is going to make a world of a difference. Otherwise, it can't happen without you. Now find out more in detail about the campaign over at thegodmachine.org. Now remember, you have till April 7th to get that pledge in. Thank you for watching, and stay spooky. Like me.
Nick Nocturne here, the voice of MCTV Local 13, humbly requesting a like, comment, or subscribe. Or go full Neapolitan and do all three. Ice cream.